Kane Vision welcomes in John Barfeld, who is the head softball coach at the University of Tulsa. And Coach, you're starting to play, leading a little bit better, 4 out of 5. What about the tournament this past weekend in Fayetteville? You didn't play Arkansas, but you played some other teams.
Right. We played pretty well. One game got away from us on one inning. We just had some location problems with our pitchers, and Iowa State took advantage of that. But we bounced back this week pretty well. We've had a couple of tough losses the previous weekend, one to Nebraska, and then we had one in the midweek to Missouri State that we lost the leads on in late in the game. And so it's nice to see the team bounce back from that and play well. And sometimes you need to have a little reality check, with your team, but we're hitting on a lot of cylinders, and that's good to see, getting ready to go into conference.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned the bounce back win is, after the loss to Missouri State, you bounced back with a win over Illinois State, and Emily Watson really pitched well for you. I think it was 12 strikeouts, and then she followed that up with a really good weekend, didn't she?
She did, and she's, we've had some times where she's been very dominant, and we think we found some things that maybe she had forgotten to do, that I kind of noticed just a little bit, as far as her pitching mechanics, something she was doing a little differently, and we discovered that actually right before the St. Francis game, and so maybe that's a good indication that she's going to start looking like she was last year.
Yeah, I was going to say, her record's pretty darn good. I think 10-4 ERA under 2, but she set such a high bar that she wants to get back to the 30-4 record in ERA down near 1. That's really a high bar. However, the good thing is you're discovering some things, and I don't know if it's with mechanics, release, spin, whatever, and she's starting to get there where she's using all the pitches better now?
Well, I just think that, and I think her dominant pitch, which hadn't been as dominant all year, is now dominated again, and so that's what we're excited to see.
Okay, now obviously, most teams can't get through it with just the one pitcher, and you're starting to develop your 2, 3 reliever and all that sort of thing, right?
Right, and and Sam Pokop, had some nice games this week. We're just trying to figure out how best to use the rest of the staff when we, like you said, when we need to use them. But Sam Pokop has made some nice strides this year, and so we're looking to see her continue to get better as we go.
Yeah, and you mentioned the Missouri State game. She pitched very well early in that game, and then things in the middle innings as they kind of rallied against you and against the relievers, then that kind of fell apart a little bit.
Well, and I didn't give the reliever a clean inning, and so she had looked so good in the 5th inning. I tried to start her one more inning, and things got a little bit crazy there, and we lost the lead. And then I tried the opposite this last week, and I tried to give the reliever a clean inning, and then it ends up being a 10-run inning. So that's the way things go. But they're working hard, and the more you get to play, the more they get to face live hitters, the more that they get to understand what they need to do and what they can't do.
And by the way, speaking of pitching, Emily Watson is the American Athletic Conference Pitcher of the Week, and then Tori Stafford is the Player of the Week. She had a terrific week as far as her hitting is concerned. I think she hit over 400 and a home run, 3 other extra base hits. How is she coming along?
Just, a lot of clutch hits too. I know that just the last one I remember, of course, we were up only 2-0 on St. Francis, and we get runners on second and third with no out. The next 2 hitters make outs. She's coming up with 2 outs, and she comes up with a big, 2 RBI single to right field. And so that's the type of week that she had, coming up with a lot of clutch hits. A lot of them were 2 outs. We've also got some nice hitting from the rest of our lineup too.
I was going to say, as usual, Julia Hollingsworth is at the top of the list. She just continues to, she seems like a hit machine. But Shelby Estacado, it's really good to see her with a bounce-back season and the way she's hit the ball, right?
Yeah, those 2 have been really solid for us all year. And you need more than 2 players to score runs, and those 2 have been doing a great job all year. And Morgan Neal and Haley Minan's really come on and had some great at-bats for us in the last few weeks. And so it's good to see those hitters, which you were kind of counting on, at the beginning of the year, they're starting to look like themselves again. And so, as we go forward, even, Riley Spell made some great strides this week. Just finding, what pitches they can handle, what are their strengths, and laying off things that are either out of the zones or weaknesses for them.
Now, you mentioned Riley. She hits her first 2 home runs this past week, which is good. She has tremendous power. But what she does behind the plate, I think, probably goes unsaid. Throwing out runners and obviously framing pitches and being a good receiver.
Right. You got to have a catcher that can stop their running game, just keep the runners out of scoring position, and she's done a fine job for us there.
And of course, this week it's the midweek game against Oklahoma State on Wednesday, which is important, certainly. But then the weekend comes, and all of a sudden we're in the American Athletic Conference. It's big time. It's a big, important time for you, isn't it?
Oh, it is. You know, getting started in the conference, it's almost like you're in your second third of the season now with conference play, and you know, everybody's going to start seeing each other in the conference now, and so we're looking forward to that. But also Oklahoma State, you know, it's great to play a team like that right before you're going into conference, because that's the type of level of play that you're going to want to play, you know, against them and then against your conference opponents. They're a very good team. They've got a lot of team speed. They've got good hitters, you know, defense, pitching. They've got it all, and so it's great for our team to go against a team like that, knowing, hey, this is the level that we got to play at.
Yeah, it sets the table for the league, and obviously UCF traditionally has been very good. It's a good league, isn't it?
It is. You know, there's a lot of parity. You know, we had a team that was, you know, down in the bottom of our conference beat the number 7 team in the country. And so anytime you have that, you know that anything can happen in a game.
All right, Coach, good luck this week.
All right, thanks, Bruce.
Head Coach John Barfeld, University of Tulsa softball, and don't forget Wednesday night, OSU, right here on the campus of TU.